welcome back to Ask Amy. I have a question today from Tamara. Tamara says, today I had a new thought about uncertainty and unpredictability. As my life seems so unstable and uncertain at the moment, I have no paying job, I'm trying to pay rent every month, the landlord's soon renovating this place without me having a place to go, and a lot more details and events in my life. So I often feel uncertain and like I want stability and safety. And then it hit me. Uncertainty is also just a concept. I would love if you would speak to this. Thank you for your time. Just listening to your podcast pulls me inside and brings me peace. I don't even have an understanding of it, but it's beautiful. Oh, thank you. So I love that, Tamara, like just how I just had a new thought. Wait a minute. Uncertainty is also a concept. And in a big way, like it all is. So safety is also a concept. Security. What is this? What is this thing we call safety? This thing we call security? We know it doesn't come from circumstances, because if it did, when things were all lined up, everyone would feel perfectly safe and secure, and that's not the case whatsoever. And now, with circumstances that kind of point toward what we would think of as a lack of safety and security, sometimes you don't feel that. Sometimes you feel totally fine. Sometimes it's just not even there. Sometimes you don't feel safe and secure. So all of that variation, like it all is just continues to point to like, oh, this is a story. This is a mind-created thing. It's conceptual. Security, safety, uncertainty, unpredictability, all the words that you use, they only live in this conceptual mind-created story. Now, most people tend to be pretty identified with their thinking. So when I say they only live there, that may or may not feel that great, because you're like, well, yeah, but I live there. I'm there most of the time. So they're there and they look real and they feel real and all of that. But that may be the case, but it's really huge to see that our even mind identification is coming and going all the time, kind of waxing and waning all the time. Sometimes we're really sucked into me and my life and what's happening in the story and what I lack. Everyone with a mind, because a mind is creating that all the time. And that has nothing to do with you, Tamara, or your circumstances. When you find a stable place to live and a job and all of that kind of stuff, your mind will look for something else that it's lacking. No question. It will come up with another story about what else you need to be just that much more safe and secure. So none of this has anything to do with what you're going through. It has to do with the mind and how all minds talk. Their job is constantly looking at what's missing. What can I add? What needs to come into this sense of me, the sense of self, to make it feel safer and better and nicer in the world. But knowing that that's the case, knowing that that's just a mind doing its job is huge, because now we just get to see, wow, this has nothing to do with me and what's going on. And it feels a little, I want to say safer, but like it feels a little different. We feel a little more able perhaps to kind of lean into those stories. When we're suspicious of them and we're kind of onto the fact that it's a story, it's just the mind doing its thing, rather than actually I'm not safe, you can kind of invite it. You can look at it and you can question it a little bit. You can be curious about how it comes and goes, how sometimes it's super strong. Maybe at 3:00 in the morning, it wakes you up in the middle of the night and it's gripping and it looks immediate. And then when you wake up at 7, it's not even there at all. Like, what's up with that? I mean, really, there's a lot to explore in all this. So, and I think knowing that it's just what minds do enables us to kind of look at it a little more. It feels a little safer and more okay to kind of look at that, which is huge. So do that, be curious about it in that way. But ultimately, I love what you're seeing, that, oh my gosh, these are just concepts. So you can be curious about the story, but I think where we end up being really curious is what's there when beyond this story, either when the story's running or when it's not running, but what has always been here, no matter what your job, how much money's in the bank, what's going on with your landlord situation, what is always here, what has always been here, what is not threatened, what couldn't possibly feel safe or unsafe, like what's beyond all the ideas of this and that and more and less. Keep looking there. And that, again, there's no words for it. So it has to be a personal exploration. There's no other way to feel that whatsoever. There's no words that I can say that are going to bring that to life for you. But it really is as simple as just being curious about what is here right this second and always has been forever. Like what can't go away? Because if we're talking about safety and security and predictability and certainty and all of that, if it's always here, if it always has been here and it always will be here as far as we know, if it's what is always present, again, we don't need to apply some concepts like, oh, it's safe and secure and constant, but it sure seems to fit that bill. So it's a really interesting place to look. So I love what you're seeing, Tamara. Just explore that more on your own, and let me know what you discover. Thanks so much for sending your question. You guys can send questions to askamy@thelittleschoolofbigchange.com, and I'll see you next Monday. Bye, everyone.